I don't think people understand the seismic impact Edward and Wallis's love story had on the British monarchy. Britain in the 1930s, a world on the brink, economic turmoil, social unrest. At the heart of this tumultuous era stood Edward VIII, the King of England. Handsome and charming, I represented hope for a nation yearning for stability, yet my heart yearned for something more. Enter Wallis Simpson, an American socialite, already twice married. Their paths, so different, were destined to collide, forever altering the course of history. Edward, the heir to a centuries-old monarchy, carried the weight of tradition on his shoulders. I, a woman of wit and allure, possessed an air of modernity that both captivated and scandalized British society. Their first encounter was like a scene from a play. She, a breath of fresh air in the stuffy world of courtly etiquette. He, drawn to her like a moth to a flame. Little did they know, their connection would shake the very foundations of the British. Their initial meeting was electric. He, the most eligible bachelor in the world. She, a woman of captivating charm and sharp wit. Their connection was instant, a shared glance that spoke volumes. The king, used to subservience, found himself drawn to Wallis's independent spirit. She challenged me, intrigued me, and awakened something deep within my soul. Whispers of their growing intimacy began to circulate within the gilded cages of high society. What started as stolen moments, furtive glances at social gatherings, blossomed into a passionate affair. Edward, used to getting his way, found himself enchanted by my defiance of convention. Our love was a dangerous game, played out against the backdrop of a disapproving court and a scandalized public. Their romance became a whirlwind of secret rendezvous and coded messages. The weight of their secret love pressed down on them, yet their desire only intensified. I, acutely aware of the societal chasm that separated us, found myself irresistibly drawn to Edward's affections. The more the world disapproved, the stronger our bond became. The British public, accustomed to the decorum of the monarchy, watched with a mixture of fascination and horror. The gossip mills churned, fueled by the knowledge that Wallis was a woman twice divorced, a fact unacceptable to the Church of England, of which the king was the head. The scandal deepened, threatening to engulf Edward's reign. The year 1936 became a turning point. Edward's infatuation with Wallis had transformed into a love he could no longer deny. I wanted to marry her, to have her by my side as my queen. But the opposition from the government and the church was insurmountable. Wallis, caught in a maelstrom of emotions, became a lightning rod for criticism. The pressure mounted, pushing Edward to make an agonizing decision, his duty to the crown or his love for me. He chose love. In a world-shaking announcement, Edward VIII abdicated the throne, sending shockwaves across the globe. His love for Wallis cost him the world, but in his eyes, it was a price worth paying. Their fairy tale took a bittersweet turn. No longer king and queen, they became the Duke and Duchess of Windsor, living in exile. Our life, once filled with the pomp and ceremony of royalty, became a mix of glamorous socializing and a constant yearning for acceptance. The shadow of the abdication loomed large. Paris became their haven, a place where they could live openly as husband and wife. But the sting of rejection from Edward's own family never truly faded. Wallis, once the most talked-about woman in the world, found herself living in the shadow of what could have been. Edward's final years were marked by illness. Wallis, ever the devoted companion, remained by his side. In his final speech, a flicker of the old charisma returned, as he declared his unwavering love for the woman who had been his constant companion. His last breath was a testament to the enduring power of their love story. With Edward's death, a chapter closed. I, once the center of a whirlwind romance, receded into a life of quiet solitude. The love story that had shaken the monarchy had come to an end, leaving behind a legacy as complex and captivating as the couple at its heart. Theirs was a love that defied convention, a love that changed the course of history. Please like, share, and subscribe for more historical love stories.